Hello and welcome to episode 174, and for this video I'm fishing all by myself, and oh god, the wind was just about to blow me camera over then. Right, so I was just about to say I'll have to apologise if there is any wind noise in this bit on this blog, because the wind is absolutely howling. Right, as the name of the video suggests, that's if I remember when I do the editing, this is a brand new lake for me. The lake itself isn't brand new, as a fishery it's a few years old, but it's my first time here. Those of you who are regular viewers will know about this time last year my syndicate finished, which incidentally is only about 3 miles down the road from here, and up until now I've had nowhere real decent that I've been happy with locally to go and fish. I heard about this place last year, but I didn't join it last year, reasons I'll go into later on in the blog. But I come here a couple of weeks ago just to have a mooch around, had a look, thought, yep, like the look of that, so I'm going to join up. It is an open access day ticket lake, anyone can come here and fish, but you can also then join as a member, and then from wherever you join it's 12 months fishing unlimited. Right, the fishery in question is Aspen Lake Fishery, and it's in Ashton Keynes, so just a few miles down the road from South Cerney. So a few miles that way with my old Honda Syndicate, and yeah, so first time here. I've come down right to the very last swim end of the lake, and as you've already seen and can probably see with the wind, it's because the wind is hacking down this end of the lake. So because it's my first time here, I don't know whether it's going to be one of them lakes where the wind, get on the back of the wind. But I thought, well, start off by being on the wind. It's got a nice bit of water, this swim. If you can see, there's just behind this tree, there's a kind of a spit of land that kind of sticks out that divides this water from the next swim. And just in shot, there's a nice kind of reed line margin there, so I thought it looks very carpy, lots of water, it's on the wind, let's get in it. So, right, anyway, we'll talk more about the lake and the tactics and everything that I'm going to do later on in the blog, but for now I need to get the kit out and get set up. Right, till then, let's go fishing. Alright guys, so obviously when you're fishing a new lake for the first time, one of the things you're going to want to do, or need to do, is find some good spots. So I've just been chucking the old marker rod round, not chucking the whole rod, you know, just casting the marker rod. No float, just the lead. So I don't want to know the depths at the moment, I just want to find the spots. So I haven't wrapped it up yet, but I've been I don't know, casting around half hour, 45 minutes maybe, and on that cast you just saw me, which will be my right hand rod, it's landing on some real nice solid gravel and getting a proper dunk 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 dunk. I found that spot, and then just for the ease of fishing and then later on spodding, I just cast to the same ranges for what will be my left hand rod and my middle rod, and they're just coming back nice and smooth. This is an old gravel pit, so there will be lots of gravel patches in here, but there will be lots of smooth areas. We'll go into reasons why for the little bit I know about the lake, well, there'll be a lot of smooth areas as well. If I'm going to fish down that left hand margin, I think I'm really going to have to punch it, because a couple of times the braid went up in the left hand tree branches and I managed to pull it out alright. They're not real snaggy branches, but a couple of times the braid with this wind hooked up around them branches and it pulled free okay, so, but I don't want to do that with your fishing rod. Right, anyway, I need to wrap this up now, see what distance I'm going to fish at. So yeah, I don't know, I guess maybe 15 wraps. Right, let's get it wrapped up and see what we're going to be fishing to. Wow. If you were counting them wraps along with me, and I said, oh, I'm guessing it'd be about 15 wraps, it is exactly 15 wraps. How about that? Right then guys, so said it enough times now already, as this is my first time to this lake, I know nothing about the lake, I know nothing about what kind of bait works, what kind of baiting up works, tactics, I know absolutely nothing, so I'm literally starting afresh and I've basically got to work it all out for myself and you know, work out, you know, everything basically. So one of the things I do want to try and work out as early as possible is what kind of baiting strategy will work best on this venue. So my plan is to spod over all three rods, but a different kind of bait on each rod, because I feel like if I can work out a baiting strategy as early as possible, then I can use that information moving on to my next session and my next session. So I'm going to be baiting out with kind of your three most popular types of baits, which is pellets, and for that one I'm going to be using the flats from Hinders. The next popular kind of baiting up option is particle. So for my next rod I've just bought a tub of hemper maize, you know, just pre-prepared one, PVA friendly if you want to use it in a bag. So I bought that one from Angling Direct. So hemper maize over the second rod, and then the third rod, of course, boilies. So I think have a good old look in there. that is the Hinders Nut 365, and I've got them in 10mm, and they're nice and sticky because I've got them glugged in some tiger nut glug as well, which is also from Hinders, and now I'm sticky. So yes, boilie on one rod, pellet on another rod, particle on another rod, and if I can start catching fish, then that will, you know, give me a good head start of how to, you know, how to go forward to the next session and the next session. I feel if I can work baiting up strategy as early as possible, then it gives me more of an advantage in the future sessions. So that's the plan. Right, need to go and wash this tiger nut glug off my fingers. Hopefully I've not got too much wind noise. I've actually got my camera hiding behind my bivvy trying to stay out the wind, so right, let's wash my hands, get some of this bait out. Right then guys, that's the baiting up done. I haven't put a lot of bait out. All I've done was 4 spods of each bait per their respective rod. So I decided, well you saw me do it. Left hand rod had the particle, middle rod had the boilie, right hand rod had the pellet. So I'll show you my rig before they go out. We're starting to lose the light now, so I better be quick. So I've got submerge, Fox submerge leader on. It's the kind of the nice kind of camo fleck one. Lead clip system. I think it's a 3.5 ounce flat pair, and then it's one of them with the kind of the quick change swivel on, and then all 3 rigs and the bait is exactly the same. And the reason why they're all exactly the same is if I'm trying to work out what's the best baiting strategy, it seems pointless having 3 different types of baits. Otherwise you're never going to know what kind of baiting strategy is going to work if you've got different baits on each rig. So I've got exactly the same baits on. 12mm blackjack pop-ups and the good old Ronnie rig. There we go. About 7-8 inches of IQ2 boom section. Big old loop there for the whole hook part to move on. And then you might be able to see there, I've just put a little cork plug in, only about halfway through the bait, just enough for the hair rig to kind of grab it. That's because all my hook baits have all been glugged, and as you know, when you glug hook baits they lose a bit of their buoyancy. So just to get that bit of buoyancy back, I've just put sort of half a plug of cork in just to get that bit of buoyancy back. So I know the baits work, I know the rigs work, so as for testing out types of rig, types of bait on this water, even though it's new, I don't feel I need to go down that route of trying different baits. I know the bait works, I know the rigs work, so the baiting strategy is what I want to work on first. So, and then once I've got that right, then on future sessions I can play around with different hook baits, different colours, bottom baits, pop-ups, wafter, all that kind of thing on later sessions. Right, anyway, right, I'm going to get these baits out because I've still got everything in the bivvy to tidy up yet. We are losing the light now, so right, let's get these baits in the water and I'll actually be fishing. Right, here we go. That's my first cast into this new water. Right, I'm going to crack on and get the other 2 rods done now. I ain't going to show you them casts going out because you don't need to see every cast every time. So, right, I need to crack on. We are now fishing. Always exciting, that first cast into our new water. The wind has died down a bit now as well, so I think it'll be a little bit easier to cast to that left hand margin. Right, let's crack on. Right then guys, so do you want the good news or the bad news? Well, that's not bad news for you. The good news is I've got one. It's currently resting in the margins in the net. The bad news is that it's taken out one of my other rods and the weather is absolutely lashing it down. So I've got to try and untangle a fish from 2 sets of lines in the pouring rain. It doesn't look... That's the middle rod, you can hear bleeping. The rod it's taken out, so right, yeah, so I've got to go out in the pouring rain, wade out a little bit to where the fish is in the net, untangle 2 rods. I say, don't look a big fish, but we've got one. First night, I don't know what time it is. It's silly o'clock in the morning, so it's got to be. But yeah, the weather is absolutely horrible out there, absolutely lashing it down. So I might have to pop it into the retainer for a little while to let the rain ease off. And anyway, yeah, fish's in the net, so I've got to go and sort it out. There you go then, guys. What do you reckon to that? Oh, she's woke up a bit where she's been resting in the margins, but yeah, there we go. £33, 4 ounces on the right hand rod. I showed you a rig, Ronnie rig with a little 12mm blackjack pop-up. Right, I think she wants to show you the other side. She looks pretty identical on both sides, to be fair. There we go. So yeah, Ronnie rig, blackjack wafter, pop-up. The right hand rod, so this come over the pellets, the spot baited with the pellets. So all good. So how's that for a first fish from a new venue? Not bad at all, eh? Right, need to try and get a few stills now. The rain has eased off a little bit, so hopefully I'll try and make doing a few stills a little bit easier. Right, it's fair to say I'm chuffed. Like I said, with this wind that's hacking at the moment, I'm not going to be able to get the rod back up tonight because, to be fair, it just could land anywhere. I hope you can hear me over the wind noise, because another storm has picked up and it is absolutely blowing a mental hoolie. Not just a normal hoolie, a mental hoolie. But fish number 2 is in the sling. It was a good time as well, because Bob, the lake owner, was just walking round asking if I'd caught anything in the night. I was just about to show him the pictures of last night's fish, and the left hand rod absolutely screamed off. The one down that, well, as close as I dared cast it to that left hand reed line, with that wind we got. Like, come on girl, be good. my other tripod with my phone on just blew over. Oh. Right. So I do apologise if there's anyone kind of hiding behind me busy trying to just cut down on any wind noise there is. Oh, she's been a bit lively. There we go. Right. Can't stop it, stop it, stop it. No, 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 no. No, no. Right, be good, be good. There we go then, guys. 27.5 pounds. So that's not a bad average, is it? 2 fish, over 60 pounds worth. So as I said, this one was on the left hand rod, which is down that kind of left hand reed line. No way am I going to be able to put a rod down there today with this wind. The line would just be up in the trees and everywhere. So yeah, still on the Ronnie rig, still on the blackjack 12mm pop-up, and this was the rod that was baited up with the old hemper maize. So it seems like they just want to be on some bait, any bait. Right, I'm going to do a few stills and then get her back. Right guys, it's safe to say my first ever session on this lake is going quite well. 2 fish, 33 and a 27, can't complain with that at all. So as you can see, bottom left hand corner, there's only one rod sat on my alarms at the moment, because I haven't put back out them 2 rods that have had them fish yet. So that left hand rod was the one that caught that second fish, and it come down that reed line down to my left there. If I do a little point, I don't know how well you can make it out, but somewhere about here there's a few kind of reeds that kind of stick out a little bit more. I can't see it too well on the camera screen, but once it goes on to your screens you might be able to see it a bit better. I didn't go too close, obviously with this wind that's hacking from right to a left. It was a bit dodgy trying to cast too close to that left hand margin, because when I was marking up yesterday, me was looking at me braid up in these trees up here, and I didn't want to risk it once a rig was on the rod. So yeah, so that spot there, so I'd probably come out about half a rod length, and that was the nearest I'd dare try to cast to it. But yeah, that's where I had that second fish from. as I said yesterday when I was doing up the wraps, it was 15 wraps, all 3 rods at 15 wraps. So the middle rod was just in open water, I mean, where this tree is, so you can't really see it. And the first fish from last night, if you can make out just behind this bush, this is a kind of a spit of land that sticks out between this water and the next swim, kind of divides the 2 swims. And again, 15 wraps, and I was, you know, just to the side of that spit, so probably a bit of a sheltered water there, to be fair. But with wind, I mean, this, I can't remember the name of the storm that we got now. I think it begins with H, and it might be a woman's name. I don't know, we'll call it Haley. But yeah, this wind is pretty mental at the moment. So yeah, as I said when I had that second fish, there's no way I'm going to risk casting down that left hand side, because I think my rig would just end up in them trees. What I might try and do though is I'll cast straight down the middle later on when I do my recast, and I never know, the wind might even take it over here, so we'll just see what happens later on. I haven't put the rods back out yet because I'm waiting to answer the call of nature, so when that comes along I will wind in that rod and then put all the rods back out with a bit more bait as well. Now I've had fish, I'm confident enough to put some more bait out. So yeah, we'll just have to see where the rods end up later on. Never know, the wind might even die off yet. I don't know, I've not looked at the weather forecast to see how long this storm's actually in for. But it is pretty mental out there. So once again, any wind noise that's been on this blog up to now, I do apologise, but there's nothing I can do about it. Right, I think I will wind that rod in soon and go and answer the call of nature. Alright guys, so you'll notice at the bottom right of your screen there's still no rods sitting on my alarms, and that's because after I went to go and use the on-site facilities I haven't done anything else yet. With this wind absolutely howling into this corner, it's I think it's just a nightmare to do anything. So basically I've had 2 fish, I'm really happy with that, so I feel there's no need to kind of rush or do anything else now. I've got tonight as well to go yet, so I'm basically just going to try and wait a few hours now just to see if this wind will die down and make sort of tonight's baiting up and casting out, you know, just that little bit easier rather than trying to deal with this gale force winds we've got at the moment. So as you can tell, it's just like being at the beach at the moment. It's got little corners, this wind hacking into this little corner. But yeah, so it's only early afternoon yet. It's only just gone lunchtime, 2 o'clock, so I've got a few hours yet to see if this wind would die down and just try and make things I need to do just that little bit easier. Like I said, there's no rush to do anything because I've had 2 awesome fish, and even if nothing else happens from now on, I'm still happy with that. There's 4 people on the lake in total, including myself, and I'm the only one that's caught, so right, anyway, I'm going to go and hide back in my bivvy because this wind is absolutely Baltic. Right guys, I've been leaving it and leaving it, but I don't think I can leave it any longer. I've been doing a bit of prep. The rigs are all baited and ready to go. The rods are all wrapped up again and ready to go at the same distance I was fishing at yesterday. Whether I'll hit that distance in this bloody gale, I don't know, but I've just been checking the weather app on my phone, and then as well as this well, I was hoping it would get better, but it's not. It's forecast to get even worse. Yeah, this little corner here, it's like being at the seaside. So basically the rods are ready to go, rigs are ready to go. I think what I'm going to do, just to try and get a sort of feel for where the rigs might land when I actually cast them out, is do a bit more casting around with me marker rod. It's still clipped up at the 15 wrap range. I didn't put it away when I finished yesterday, so I think what I might do is just do a bit of practice casting with a marker rod, just to get a rough idea of where the rigs might actually land, just to get a feel for the direction I actually need to cast to with the rods once I actually do get fishing. I'll try and put some bait out as well. Who knows how that's going to go. I think, to be fair, I'm just going to be spreading a mixture of all the bait all over the swim with this weather, but I'll give it a go. It'll be funny one way or the other. Right, so yeah, I'm going to go have a bit of a chuck around with a marker rod and yeah, just try and see if I can gauge which direction. I probably need to cast towards the sun to me right, to be fair, at the moment. Right. Oh yeah, and another reason why I need to crack on one way or the other is because that weather forecast said heavy rain is due to hit us in about an hour and a half. So I want to try and get all wrapped up, fishing, baited up, no later than an hour's time, so I can lock myself in my bivvy away from this weather. Yeah, so none of them spods are really landing where they need to be, but so I think the bait's just going to be a bit of a mishmash. So I should try and carry on. I think the wind now is turned a little bit. It's not so much blown right to left now, it's more coming at us now, so the direction part of it I thought was going to be difficult isn't actually difficult. It's getting the distance, because that wind is just, it's it's just blowing everything back towards you. I think I only actually hit the clip once then, so yeah, so direction not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Just, yeah, distance. Then again, the rigs are more streamlined than a spod, so well, let's try and persevere. Right, so spotting was every bit of a nightmare as I thought it would be. As I said, side to side wind wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. Little bit of an issue, but I managed to get a bit of bait over the right hand rod. Middle rod with the boilies, they're a bit heavier, so that kind of landed all right in the open water area. Left hand rod, right, so I managed to put a couple of spods out, and each time I was nudging closer and closer to that reed line to see how dare close I push it to the spot where I caught that second fish from this morning. And yeah, the inevitable happened. The wind hooped the braid round in a big arc, went up in them trees to my left, and yeah, I've lost me dot spot basically. So it's now hanging from one of the. When I pulled it, the braid snapped. It's not up in one of the big trees. It actually fell down and it's landed in one of the lower trees, just to the probably about head height. My head height actually, just behind the reed. So if I get in the waders, I might actually be able to retrieve it tomorrow. So yeah, so managed to get a couple of spods on the spot. So it looks like for tonight's purposes I'm basically going to have to come out a little bit further than what I caught that fish from, because can't risk chucking a rig up in the trees. Right, which is the next job incidentally, getting them rods out now. Rod number one went out on the third attempt. First time didn't hit the clip. Second time overcompensated for the wind and landed it on the island. Third time was a treat. Right, second rod shouldn't be too much of an issue now because it's the open water rod to go out. So you know I said middle rod was open water and shouldn't be an issue. Well, I made it an issue. Basically I was just overcompensating for the wind, casting too far right, and it was going right, more or less where my right hand rod should be. So yeah, so that one actually took me 4 attempts to actually get in open water. Right, and now the fun one, the left hand margin rod. I'm not actually going to film this cast because I'm scared what's going to happen, but I will let you know. Right, third rod is out. And just as I thought, the left hand rod was the trickiest. Actually took me 7 attempts to get that rod out on the spot. Even had one lucky near miss where, well, same. The wind hooped the line round to one of the branches in the trees on the left there, and I thought, oh no, I'm going to have a rig go the same way as the spod. But luckily it was only just slightly hooped over the branch, and the rig kind of like came out of the water, went over the branch and flicked back at me, so that was a bit of a lucky one. But it is out on the spot now, and I think just in time as well, because that sky's not looking too clever now. But there is some bait out sort of on the spots. The rigs are out just about in the areas I want them to be. So the rest now is in the hands of the carpy gods. Well, good morning guys, and well, what a difference a night makes. The weather is a lot better this morning. I've actually got sun in my eyes this morning, but yeah, no more storm force gale winds blowing. We've still got a bit of a medium kind of breeze that's putting a bit of a ripple on the water, but yeah, not having to peg stuff down to stop it blowing away anymore. But well, obviously from lack of footage, there was no more fish during last night. Quite glad of it actually, because it was absolutely lashing it down for quite a bit of the night. Yeah, so it's just gone 8 o'clock in the morning now. The sun's just come up above them trees to my left, which is blinding me. But yeah, unfortunately no more fish, but I can't complain, because I've had two awesome fish, and well, just to come away from this session without blanking I would have been happy, but to have the two fish I've had is just a dream first session here, so I'm not complaining. Right, well, I've got about 4 hours left to go yet. I'm going to pack up about lunchtime, give the sun a bit of time to dry the bivvy out and everything, and then get home and have a shower and a proper meal. That leaves me with about 4 hours of fishing to go, so it's time for a third fish yet. Well then guys, I thought I'd give you a little bit of a look around the lake, well, from what I can see from my swim, and the little bit of information that I've got so far about what I know about the place. So we are in the Cotswolds. So this is a gravel pit that was originally dug for the Cotswold stone and gravel. The lake, as you see it now, is a lot smaller than what it used to be. If you ever look at this place on Google Maps, it's quite a big square lake. I can imagine once it was probably in a region of about, I don't know, maybe 50 acres, maybe, I don't know, give or take, I'm just guessing. What you can see in front of me, sort of, if I can do a little pointer, so all this that runs along here is now sort of a big shaped island, and I think sort of in the area there's still quite a few working gravel pits, and over the last few years a lot of this I think has been spoil from surrounding gravel pits that have been filled in to create this kind of big shaped island. So that's why it looks all quite bare and just mud and barren at the moment, is because it is quite new. I think it's only just finished being landscaped into the shape it is now. As far as I'm aware, I think they've more or less finished kind of filling it in and putting sort of any more spoil in. So I think the shape it is now is its final kind of shape of the lake. There's probably about, I'm guessing about 10 acres of fishable water. If we quickly spin the camera around, I'm on the very last swim on the furthest point of the lake. So when you first come into the lake, it is all the way over there. Oh, I could just see my van over there, and that is the gate over there. So Bob, the owner, does live on site. That's his house, and that, I think that there is sheds, but if I can get me, I can't do my pointer very well, but on this side of the cabin, sort of just behind that yellow skip, is a nice toilet. It's all very clean, all very nice toilet, so there is a clean, posh on-site toilet to use. Now I've zoomed in, you can see sort of just how bare and barren the island is at the moment, but I'm sure in a couple of years, in a year or two, once it's got some growth on it, it will look a bit greener. And so this is my left hand margin. There's a fair bit of water in front of this swim that I'm fishing. There's probably got to be getting on for around 2.5 acres of water up in front of me this swim. And this left hand margin, that's caused me a bit of trouble this session with the crosswind. Bob did tell me in time he is planning on cutting out a couple more swims up this left hand margin. So obviously I want about halfway up and one at the end to sort of utilise more of this water, because unless you're using a bait boat you can't get anywhere near up that far end. So I'm fishing at 15 wraps, and that only takes me to about kind of this point here. So yeah, so there's a fair amount of water in front of this swim, but yeah, Bob did say there's going to be 2 more swims up this left hand side in time, don't know when. And then if I spin the camera around, so you can sort of see sort of a bit, this is a bit of a spit of land that comes out, then the water goes kind of right back. So all this water here is kind of the next swim, and then if you can't really make it out, but then that's kind of another spit, and then it kind of, the water opens up further on, and then it's kind of straight from then on up to the far corner. So spin it, so all nice and green, all nice and flat for you to put your bivvy on. So I think up this side, like I say, I'm in the last swim as I mentioned. I didn't really count, but I think there's about 8 swims up here, and then on this far bank down here I think there's about 5 or 6 swims. So yeah, so at the moment there's only about 13 or 14 swims on the lake. Obviously in time there will be a couple more up here, and also on the very far side of the lake, if I zoom in, you can't see it from here, but somewhere, I think sort of where all these kind of willows, where you can see just past that skip, there's 2 more pools over there. One Bob has dug, and there's a 10 swim match lake, and then right over in the very far corner there's probably a little 1 acre pool that has been divided out to make a kind of a coarse fishing lake. I don't think there's actually any fish in that little coarse fishing lake at the moment, but there is in the match pool. So the other day when I said I was leading around, I said there are gravel spots, but even though it's an old gravel pit, a lot of it is quite soft and smooth out there, and I think that is because of where they were filling in, you know, to create this island. A lot of then that dirt has kind of obviously spread out and covered the gravel and smoothed the bottom off. So there are gravel spots out there, but again, a lot of it has, I think, from creating an island, a lot of it has been you know, covered over. So if I zoom in front of my rod, so you can see the lightly coloured gravel down there. So yeah, so that's the little information that I've gained about the lake so far. And so I have joined as a member now. £300 for 12 months from when you join. There's not a set start and finish date. Whenever you pay your money, that's your start date for 12 months. So 300 quid I think is quite reasonable. If you compare it to like linear prices, you've only really got to do 9 or 10 nights before the ticket is kind of paid for. Then all your fishing after that basically works out free, which I will easily do. So this is going to be my new local water, somewhere close. I can get here 20 minutes from work or 25 minutes from home, and yeah, it's somewhere I'm going to look forward to doing a lot more fishing on. It's good to have somewhere decent close to home, since we lost the old Honda Lake last year. And well, as you've seen by the fish already, there is a good stamper fish in here. So yeah, I'm definitely going to enjoy fishing here. And in a couple more years' time, when there's a bit of growth on the island, it will look a bit more picturesque, I'm sure. But like I said, it is newly formed, so that's why it looks a bit bare at the moment. But the actual fishing banks themselves are all, like I said, they're all nice and green and tree lined, so the actual where you're fishing from is all nice and lovely and picturesque. Right, I'm sorry if that was waffling on a bit too much there, but so there's not a lot of information on this place. When I try to find a bit of information, I think Bob, the owner, he wants people to know about this place. He wants people coming here fishing and the bait going in. But I might be a little barked at by some of the current members, but I know some of the current members, where it's nice and quiet at the moment, I think that's kind of how they want it to stay, because they've got it nice and quiet at the moment. So yeah, so a lot of the information I've kind of had to work out for myself and then ask Bob. And right, anyway, I think I've waffled on for too long. So I've probably got about 3 hours of fishing left, so I'm going to start packing down my non-essentials shortly. And one small bit of information I forgot to mention: fish stocks. So Bob was telling me in 2005 he stocked 100 mirror carp in here. So as I've already said, I'm guessing there's about 10 acres, so on average you've probably got about 10 carp per acre. But he did also say some commons have come out, fish which was never stocked in here, so somehow some commons have worked their way in over the years. Like I say, all them fish have been in now for sort of 14 years, and apparently pretty much nearly all the carp now are £20 plus at least. One of the members did say to me he caught a 17 pounder a while back, but yeah, so there is a good stock of fish in here size wise. I say apparently pretty much all of them now are at least £20 plus. Apparently there's a few tench, a few bream, and then you kind of a few mixed coarse fish that are kind of, again, have worked their way in over the years somehow. So yeah, so that's the kind of stocking. So it's by no means a runs water. Nearly all the guys I spoke to have said it is a hard water, and if you do catch on a session you're doing pretty well. So yeah, I've caught 2 fish. I feel like I'm doing pretty well. Alright then guys, that's it. I've come to the end of my session. Yeah, it's been a good one. So always coming to a new venue for the first time, you always wonder how well you're going to do. After speaking to a few of the other members, they've all told me even if you can get one, you're doing really well, because it is, like I say, it is a hard water. There's only about 100 fish in this lake per, as I said earlier, I guess in about 10 acres, so certainly not a runs water. So to come away with 2, I am more than happy. All the kit is packed down now. You can probably just see over my shoulder here, all my kit is packed down. One of the good things about this fishery is that Bobby actually lets you drive round to your swim, so you don't need your barrow. So you can drive round to your swim, drop your kit off, but then you've got to leave it, take it back round to the car park. So yeah, no barrows are needed here. Conclusion, yes, definitely. Well, I have to come back because I've joined now. I'm paying 300 quid just for one session. Baiting wise, it's too early to draw any conclusions yet. I mean, who's to say I wouldn't have caught any of them fish if I would have put the baited spots, if the boilies were the baited spots on them rods. So it's going to take a few more sessions there yet to draw any, you know, definitive conclusions about what works best. But you know, it gives me a good starting point of where to go from. And yeah, I'm really happy with how the session's gone. Really happy with this place, and I'm definitely going to enjoy doing a lot more sessions here. Apparently, I picked a popular peg on the lake, so I'll put that down to watercraft. But yeah, that's it. I've got to go now. Home time, proper meal, shower. Might say hello to the missus. Right, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, when my next session's going to be at the Festival Fishery down in Somerset, where I've got a nice 4-day session down there. Till then, tight lines.